Loneliness is not when you have no one around you. It's when you feel invisible, even in a crowded room. How many times have you smiled on the outside while quietly breaking on the inside? How many nights have you wished someone, anyone, could truly understand you? Loneliness isn't loud. It's silent, a weight pressed against the heart that almost everyone carries, yet few ever admit. But here's the truth. Loneliness does not mean you are forgotten. This is the story of Genny, a girl who thought she was completely alone, until one unexpected lesson revealed that even in silence, she was never truly abandoned. Genny was 19. To the outside world, she looked like she had it all together. A bright student, always smiling, always polite, always present. She went to her classes, chatted with classmates, laughed at the right moments. But beneath that warm smile, her heart felt hollow. Her struggle was simple, yet suffocating. She hid her true feelings. Whenever the ache inside her grew too loud, she pushed it down. Nobody would understand, she told herself. Fear of judgment kept her silent, so she carried her loneliness alone. But silence has consequences. Genny felt like a crow among doves, surrounded by people, yet never belonging. She watched groups form, friendships deepen, lives intertwine, while she drifted quietly at the edges. Her studies began to slip. She couldn't focus. Motivation faded. Assignments piled up, untouched. Her friends noticed the distance, but they misunderstood. She's just busy, they assumed, never realizing the truth. Genny wasn't busy. She was breaking. And the nights, they were the worst. Hours stretched endlessly. She would scroll through her phone, watching others post about dinners, trips, laughter, and love. The glow of the screen only deepened the shadow inside her. She would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, whispering to herself the question no one seemed to answer. Does anyone even see me? Maybe you've been there too, surrounded by people, yet completely alone. Genny's heart felt like a glass jar left empty, fragile, transparent, waiting for something, anything, to fill it. And she truly believed that emptiness was permanent. But one day, in the quiet corner of her world, Genny met someone unexpected. A mentor whose words carried a truth she had never considered. That loneliness itself carried its own hidden key. It happened on a gray Tuesday afternoon. The lecture had ended, students drifted out laughing, papers rustling, chatter echoing down the hall. But Genny stayed behind. She'd lingered in her seat, staring blankly at her notebook, pretending to pack slowly so no one would notice the heaviness in her chest. But someone did. Professor Harris, an older man known more for his patience than his lectures, watched her quietly. When the room finally emptied, he spoke gently. "Genny, walk with me for a moment." Curious and hesitant, she followed him down a narrow hallway into a small side room. The blinds were drawn, the air dim. On the table sat a single unlit candle. He struck a match and placed it in her hand. "Light it," he said. Genny hesitated, then touched flame to wick. The candle flickered, then glowed. Instantly, the room changed. Shadows pulled back. Corners once swallowed in darkness softened. The air felt less heavy. Genny whispered almost apologetically, "But it's just one candle." Professor Harris leaned closer, his voice steady. "Yes, one candle, and yet one light changes the entire room. Loneliness feels dark because we forget the flame we already carry inside us." The words settled into her like drops of water on parched soil. Then he told her a story. "When I was your age, I sat alone for months. I had lost people I loved, and in my grief, I thought no one could understand me. I locked myself away, drowning in silence. Days bled into nights, and I felt like the world had moved on without me. But one evening I wrote a letter, just one. I reached out to an old friend. That single act lit a spark. The darkness didn't vanish overnight, but it shifted. I learned something important. You don't need 1,000 lights to chase away loneliness. You only need one, and the courage to start it. He let the candle flicker between them for a long moment. Then he asked, "Genny, if your life feels dark right now, what small flame could you light?" A call to someone you miss, a prayer whispered at night, a journal entry to yourself, a single conversation. What spark could you choose that might change the room around you? Genny stared at the flame, her reflection dancing in its glow, and for the first time in a long time she felt something shift inside. She realized loneliness wasn't proof she was empty. It was an invitation, a signal to discover her own strength and to seek even the smallest of genuine connections. One candle, one act, one spark. The next morning, Genny did something different. Instead of scrolling endlessly through her phone, she opened a notebook and began to write. At first, the words were shaky, scattered, uncertain. But soon, sentences poured out. Her fears, her questions, her ache for connection. Journaling didn't erase the loneliness, but it gave it shape, a place outside her heart where it no longer controlled her. The following week, during a difficult study session, Genny gathered her courage and leaned over to a classmate. "Could you help me with this problem?" she asked quietly. To her surprise, they smiled and explained without hesitation. For the first time, she realized she didn't have to struggle alone. One evening, she went further. Sitting with a close friend, she finally broke the silence. "I've been feeling empty, like I don't belong anywhere." She expected awkwardness, maybe even rejection. Instead, her friend's eyes softened. "Genny, I've felt that too." In that moment, she discovered something powerful. Her loneliness wasn't unique, it was shared. And sharing it built a bond stronger than any mask she'd worn. In her mind, she saw it clearly. Each hand she reached became a plank in a bridge, carrying her across the river of isolation. Journaling, asking, sharing. Step by step, the bridge grew stronger, steadier. The outcomes were undeniable. Her studies improved as motivation returned. Friendships deepened, no longer based on surface smiles, but on authenticity. And perhaps most beautifully, she realized her candle hadn't just lit her path. It gave others permission to shine, too. So let me ask you, what if your story of loneliness, the one you've kept hidden, could be the very bridge that helps someone else feel less alone? Because loneliness doesn't mean you are forgotten. It means your light is waiting to be shared. Genny discovered the truth. Loneliness isn't the end of the story. It isn't proof you're broken. It's the night before the sunrise. And the sunrise always comes. She learned that even the smallest act, writing her thoughts, asking for help, sharing her heart, was like striking a match in the dark. One candle, one connection, one voice. And that was enough to change the room around her. Because even the longest night is only a bridge to dawn. Your candle, your courage, your voice, these are the sparks that welcome the morning. So let me ask you, what small flame can you light today to break your silence? A call, a text, a prayer, a single honest conversation? And who could you reach out to right now, instead of waiting through another lonely night? If you've ever felt alone, comment "light" below. Share this story with someone who needs hope. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that remind you, even in your darkest nights, you are not alone.